All right, buckle up, strap in tight. Ask Big Daddy. It's Monday once again, and we are going to cover a lot of ground on local real estate here in a very short period of time. Our real estate expert, Bryan Garrity, joined today by Patrick Clark, Brian Daly from REIG Asset Management. You guys do renovations, basically, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you do renovations to help people sell their homes, or to help, you know, with like foreclosures that have been vandalized? Or?
We actually buy the distressed properties,
You
fix
do?
them up and sell them.
Okay, so you're the guys that are out there picking up the distressed properties, fixing up everything. You know, lots of times homeowners have like stripped them and done whatever damage to them, or maybe they just need a little fixing up before they go on sale.
Yeah, I mean, we've the state we find these properties in goes from pretty much move-in ready to dilapidated as it can be. We're actually starting a project today. It was a former hoarder, and there you go. The house is unbelievable that someone was actually living there.
Oh my
just
gosh.
a couple weeks ago. And
Yeah, these pictures are, you know, I know people that can't even look at
it.
Yeah, I know some folks can't even look at pictures like this. It makes them hyperventilate.
Are you kidding?
Oh, wow.
Going into that house was quite an experience, and this is probably the worst that we've seen, but I'm expecting worse someday. So.
I mean, it's just some bad ones.
Yeah.
I mean, but that one is nasty.
There's a good.
But look at the before and after. I mean, it's amazing what you guys can do. Now, Brian, when you're working with folks, when you're listing properties and you're buying and you're selling, you run into a variety of situations when it comes to the state that the homes are in.
Right, and there's a niche for everybody, and these guys do such outstanding work when you get to a property that pretty much, like Brian said, is either dilapidated, or you're looking at, I mean, they'll transform this thing into what would be a palace compared to what it's looking like on the screen. But they do an amazing job at going through, you know, a lot we've been talking about, fix this, don't fix that,
right,
paint here, do that. Brian had a good thing this morning where you talked about likening it to your car.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to sell your car, you're more likely you're gonna give it a good wash, you're gonna wax it, and you're gonna present it in the best possible light. What is I find odd about real estate, a lot of times sellers don't do that with their house, and you can do simple things as just getting it professionally cleaned, carpets clean, decluttering it a little bit, and it'll show 10 times better than it would have if you don't do that stuff.
Now, what you guys probably also would probably like to talk about, and it's delicate because you don't want to run down other folks, but there's people out there doing these renovations that they go for the very cosmetic, and they don't fix the problems that are underlying. And if you're not aware of that as a buyer,
we definitely want to run down those folks.
Right.
because I'll tell you, there's a lot of them that are out there. They're just go ahead and, I took this from Patrick, but they put lipstick on a pig.
Right.
So they just go throw some paint on it, and these people that are first-time home buyers, or even move-up buyers that don't know better, because you know I'm a ding-dong when it comes to that kind of stuff.
When it comes to home repairs,
right? Any of that
looks
stuff.
good to me.
So, right. I mean, if I can turn the key and it looks like I could live in it, I mean, I would be happy. And you guys are just doing an amazing job. That's because they're amazing and ethical people as well.
Which is why you work with them, obviously.
Absolutely. You guys have a construction crew of your own now that you should really tout, because I mean that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, we have a full-blown construction company that services a lot of our own properties, and it enables us to keep costs down so we can address more of those issues, because there's a lot of things that people cover up. You know, pay attention to the year the home is built, because a lot of time you got plumbing, electrical that you know, I've heard of a story somebody they bought a home, the dishwasher was hooked up with speaker wire, and
oh yeah.
Wow.
It's that crazy that's out there. Permits. I know that's for some people a boring subject, but when you buy a property, and let's say we buy a property that these guys are renovating, tell people about permits. We get that question a lot. It comes up. What kind of an impact does it have?
It's a big impact. There's a lot of people who don't do the right thing on the homes and getting the permits. The cities make it a little bit more difficult, but you still got to do what's right. A bigger thing to pay attention to is just if it was done competent, if it was done correctly. You know, if you find little indicators that things weren't done right, pay attention to those and dig deeper on it. Home inspection's huge, but not always are guys going to do permits and adhere with the building code, and so you got to pay attention to little details to uncover that stuff.
The big thing is too, when you're buying a house that they did an addition without permits, if you're paying for that in the price you're paying for it, but they didn't get permits, then somewhere down the line you're going to find out, and your house loses all that value that you paid extra for it. So
yeah, it doesn't count.
You got to do the extra. You know, if the tax rolls don't match with what they're saying, then do your research, look at the permits, and if the permits were done, the tax rolls might not be updated, but then you'll know for sure. And if they weren't, then you have something to go back to.
And now folks are saying, okay, I wouldn't know where to start. That's why you call Bryan Garrity, and you go to the Garrity group, whether you're buying, you're selling, whether it's a distressed property or just a straight up sale. These are the kind of things that
Right.
you deal with every day, and you're
Okay.
happy to help folks with.
Absolutely.
All right.
And we want to make sure that another thing these guys do is for every sale, tell them about your Wounded Warrior program.
Well, that
'Cause
we
I
have
really like
Wounded
it.
Warrior Homes is a local San Diego-based organization, and we love this. I appreciate you bringing it up, Bryan, because it's important to get out there and help our Wounded Warriors out there. You know, a lot of these guys. You know, I know when I got out of the Marine Corps, it took about a year, about 14 months for the VA to rate my injury. And a lot of these guys that get separated, they have that time frame where the VA's it's caught up in paperwork and everything, where they don't get the compensation they need. And this group focuses on that transitional housing. So very good local organization, Wounded Warrior Homes, based in San Diego. So.
And they support it with every house they sell. You know,
Fantastic.
they give it, yeah, it's important.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
very,
It's
very
one more-
important.
Any
Very
kind of charity is important.
All right, folks, don't forget the radio show on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. We will have Mark Bailey as a star one day on
One
the radio
day.
program.
On
And that-
ESPN Radio?
ESPN 1700.
Okay.
We'll have an
Wonderful.
hour together.
An
Come
hour.
On. It'll be fun.
Look at that.
All right.
All right, well, you can check him out on the radio as well. And REIG Asset Management. These
They're
guys,
amazing.
a great source of information, but also if you need the work done, these are the guys you call.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having
Bryan,
us on.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You want to list your house with Bryan. Not have any problems. All right, for more information, you go to san diego6.com and click on San Diego Living.